It has been so long since some characters have reran that it's almost considered a flex to even have them. It has been over 20 months, almost 2 years since Shenhe has rerun. Not to mention over a year and a half for some 4 stars like Hazo. And that's on top of the 4-star problem that we already have that I've made videos on twice before. And now it's not just a 4-star problem. Genshin Impact has a rerun problem. Welcome to Jello Impact, where we build and test every single character to help you decide who you want to wish for and build. Who to wish for and build is not just about the meta strength of a character. It's very important you consider all the factors of a kit between the design, the animations, the meta strength, and now apparently the length of time since their last rerun is a very important thing to consider when wishing for a character. I haven't talked about this much recently, but I actually find the length of time between reruns to be my biggest problem with the game of Genshin Impact. With the release of Chaska and Rerun, we will have 91 characters in Genshin Impact. 91, and all of them have their own individual personality and design, and I bet that every single character has someone out there who is their favorite. And so if you're just joining the game for the first time, you might want to get your hands on one of these less rerun or less accessible characters. And for you to have to potentially wait over 2 years to get your favorite character, I think that is a massive, massive problem that needs to be addressed immediately. So let's first take a look at what exactly we're dealing with. Now, this website is pretty fun because it tells you the time since a character has last rerun, but it doesn't account for the standard banner selector or the chronicled wish, which I think are very important to consider because I consider something like this as a way to track how long since a character has been accessible. So I wouldn't count Tighnari, I wouldn't count Albedo, I wouldn't count Dea. In fact, I really wish there was a toggle for chronicled wish because as the chronicled wish gets further and further away, that's something we also want to keep an eye on. I would count the chronicled wish as a rerun. I don't know why you wouldn't. So Albedo has been on the chronicled wish, Tighnari was on the 5-star selector, so was Dea. Shenhe, not only has she not been on the Chronicled Wish, she's not even eligible for the Chronicled Wish. You have to rerun twice to be on the Chronicled Wish as per Genshin's own rules that they made up. So I think that that is especially strange. It's been a really long time for Ganyu, 18 months. Hazo is extremely egregious, being a 4-star that they could have just thrown on any banner. Eula was on the Chronicled Wish, Klee was on the Chronicled Wish, those don't count. Mika was on the Chronicled Wish, so I don't know if you give that a pass or not. If you do, I could go either way on that one. It's pretty unlikely to get a specific character from the Chronicled Wish, so I would tend towards not counting it. He is available on the standard banner after all, which is, you know, it was just Mondstadt characters on the Chronicled Wish, basically. But I personally wouldn't count it. Kokomi, 15 months, over a year since Kokomi. Over a year for Tartaglia. Zhongli, I think 1 year, even though I think that's way too long and very egregious and really just frankly annoying for a new player to come on. They just missed Zhongli. Zhongli's their favorite character. Now you got to wait around a whole year. That's too long, man. 6 months is like a pretty long time, I think, to have to wait for a character. So that, I think, should be the upper limit. But if we're going to do a year, we're going to do a year, and we'll at least anything beyond a year, like really beyond a year, I think is absolutely ridiculous. Zhongli, of course, is rerunning next patch, so we know it won't be too far beyond a year. Sayu hasn't rerun in forever. Hu Tao, she just reran, so maybe this isn't updated. She's live right now. Official Diona, and then Wriothesley, 13 months, and this will be his first run, like only his first rerun. A lot of characters, yeah, they don't rerun for a long time, but at least they were available multiple times. Some people will skip a character when they're first released and say, oh, I'll just get them on their first rerun, because it's usually during that version. I think Wriothesley is the first case of a character that we've ever had where they didn't run during that patch version. They didn't run during it at all, and Nouvelette's already reran twice. What the heck? Charlotte, being a 4-star introduced in Fontaine, also hasn't rerun forever. The other characters, I think it's pretty reasonable relatively. The ones that are below that, not really a problem. Wow, this hasn't been updated in a while. Hey, Raiden's still on here? I think it's reliable, aside from them not updating some characters. But regardless, what the heck? I think personally that Wriothesley is Genshin experimenting with, there's two things I think that's going on. First of all, a lot of characters that haven't been rerun are cryo characters. This tells me that personally, I think that they're going to buff cryo in some way. I do. Whether, and I think it's probably going to be a new character. It's probably going to be Sitlali. 3 characters though is kind of a lot. Maybe they'll do an elemental banner rerun where all of the cryo characters are available on a banner instead of the Chronicled Wish, and then they can get around their has to appear 2 times rule. That seems a bit weird to me, but I mean, they could do it, I guess. They can do whatever they want. Maybe Hazo will rerun with Chaska because they're both an Animo DPS and they're kind of buffing Animo with electro reaction kind of, or buffing, not Animo, but they're buffing electro reactions like electro charge, and some people use Hazo and electro charge, I guess. Maybe that sort of makes sense in some weird way. But I think that Wriothesley is them sort of pushing the boundaries and saying, we're gonna not rerun a character. Like I said, it was the first time in a version that they didn't rerun a character during that version. So maybe this is them testing, what if we don't? Now you have to wonder, ooh, should I skip Chaska or should I get her? Because she might be the next Wriothesley, which I think just sucks, by the way. Obviously, I think that gacha sucks in general as a mechanic. Like, we're all adults here, we know that. I love Genshin Impact, it's my favorite game. But we know that gacha in general is not that great. There is a fun element to it, right? The randomness of getting or not getting a character and earning the character and all of that stuff. But the multiple currencies and the FOMO, like waiting a really long time for a rerun, I just think it just really hurts the player experience. It's very confusing, which I think is bad, and waiting a really long time I think is bad. But at the end of the day, you know, companies are out to make money, so it is what it is. But I think that people will definitely be dejected when they're joining and a character doesn't rerun for that long. I think that that will turn some players off. I think it's too much. I think that there's an element of waiting around. Like, I waited a long time for Raiden when I first joined. I had to wait, 6 to 8 months, and that felt like an absolute eternity. Eternity. And when I finally got her, it was amazing. And no, I think we took the monkey out. But yeah, it's just too long. And I think there's a few ways they can address it. Obviously, more Chronicled Wish is one. I thought that we were going to have a Chronicled Wish for sure in early Natlan. This patch would have made so much sense, as Chaska is not like the most hype character ever, and it would make sense as a way to drain people's primos before the Archon comes. And lots of characters are really getting high up there on the rerun list. It's time. And I thought I would never have to make this video because Chronicled Wish really should be solving all of our problems when it comes to rerun length, but it's not. I think that the standard banner selector was an incredible way to solve the standard banner problem, which I've also made a video on, and it's basically completely fixed. I would like to see something done with the weapons on there, but I think that these are like 2 of our biggest remaining issues in Genshin is the 4-star problem, where not only do we have to wait forever for characters like Hazo and characters like Chevreuse, of course, and Charlotte, even worse, but if we want to get high constellations, there's no pity, there's no epitomized path, and it's just a real shame. This one is an easy fix. You need a pity, an epitomized path for the 4 stars, even if it's 2 fate points. I don't care what it is, but 4 stars should have a guarantee at some point. And as far as the rerun problem, I think that there should absolutely be an event that every account gets one time. And they introduced this event. Obviously, new players get it when they join, but everyone gets it one time. Every 5-star character appears, every limited 5-star, and you get to pick one 5-star character, and you basically make a custom banner. I don't know, maybe the 4 stars are like always the same. Maybe it's like a staple set of 4 stars, or maybe they make a custom banner for every 5-star. Every 5-star comes with a set of 4 stars, or whatever it is. Or maybe it's always Bennett, Xiangling, or maybe it's the starter characters. Maybe it's Amber, Kaya, Lisa. Maybe you get to choose. Yeah, maybe it's Amber, Kaya, and Lisa on this banner. And you can always wish on. It's kind of like the Noel beginner banner, and you get to pick one 5-star character to work towards and put wishes on, and you get to get your favorite character and work towards them right away. I think that is just the most elegant and most perfect solution. And yeah, it doesn't totally solve the problem. It's still unacceptable that Wriothesley has to wait that long for a rerun. But at least this way, new players joining the game don't have to wait 2 years to get their favorite character. And if you really do want to work towards your favorite character, you can. It doesn't cost Genshin really anything because people are still spending the wishes. So I really think that this is the best solution. Hopefully someone from Genshin's watching this and one day we get something like that. I think it's very possible. I really hope that it's also them just holding back the crowd characters as like a special one-off, and it has nothing to do with the predatory practices, and that they're just holding back the crowd characters to give a huge buff with either a new character or the reaction itself. But one way or the other, it's unacceptable. Something needs to be done. And what should you do? You should really make sure you have a storage. Make sure you save at least, 100 wishes. If there's characters out there that you still want, save 100 wishes, because you never know when they're going to come back, and make sure you stay ahead of it by being prepared and not wasting wishes on characters that you don't want. Don't build pity. If you don't want the 5-star, save wishes aside. Maybe even have a little stock in case they announce a cool character that you really like. Keep up to date with upcoming characters, my kit analysis, especially when they do the drip marketing, because that usually you have enough time to save as long as you have a little bit. And just don't give in to FOMO. If a character seems like, everyone's saying you got to get them, they're so strong, just make sure that you really like them. Make sure you play the trial a lot. Make sure you love the character, because you only get so much premium currency, and you got to make sure that you have enough for the characters that you love and the supports that make your favorite shine. So let me know your thoughts on this topic. I think it's a huge issue and needs to be talked about. Please subscribe, because it actually really does help out the channel. But if you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. Just watching the video has been more than enough. Thanks so much. Bye for now.